Sweet as a bell at the moment.
Crack bloody bell.
Well, she'll get you back. The next time it'll be a new condenser.
Yeah. So you keep telling me. All right. Let's all up that hook and get away from this sodden mud.
When you get underway, for God's sake, keep the revs down. Just tickle her in, Skip. Otherwise, we'll be spending the night out here.
Over your dead body.
What's that? Snagged on something. It's clear now.
Wouldn't have thought there was much to snag down there, just Medway slime. Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Prue, it's Maggie. You reading me? Over.
Really, Maggie, must you use that appalling jargon? How can I possibly be reading you, especially at this distance? Over.
I hope you thought this thing through. If that Chandra bloke really does have a marriage contract with the girl, he could sue us for assault. Over.
She's 15, for heaven's sake. Even if her mother has signed a contract, it can't possibly be valid in this country. Over.
I still say we should leave it to the police. Over.
I told you they don't want to know. Over.
Prue, if the girl is underage and the contract is invalid, then the police are bound to act. Over.
Not until an offence has been committed. By the time they get their act together, the girl could be back in India. Over.
Okay. But I want to register the strongest possible objection.
Hello, miss. You're just the person I wanted.
Not now, Flo.
Go away, there's a good girl.
I've seen him again. My old man. On the Maidstone Road.
Flo, we're right in the middle of something here.
He was driving a great big white Jaguar. Large as life he was. I mean, dead these 40 years. And suddenly he's driving a great big motor.
Flo, will you please go away, Scarborough? Hop it now.
You've got to find him for me, miss. You've got to find him.
On my way out, girls. Start up and stay close for Gordon's
Sake, I don't fancy ending up as a bowl of curry.
Over.
Here they come. Black Merc at the High Street end.
Going like the crackers. Go, go!
About 150 quid's worth of damage, I reckon.
And there's Maggie's car. God, have you seen it?
Seen it? I was in it, remember?
It's a shambles, an absolute shambles. Oh, Maggie, where did the old duck come from, for God's sake?
I don't know. She came from out of nowhere. God, I nearly killed her.
She's been under your feet for yonks. What the hell does she want?
She wants to find her old man.
Well, she claims she's seen him more than once driving a big white Jag along the Maidstone Road.
She's been going on about it for years, evidently.
Oh, is it possible? Could she have seen him?
No.
Oh, why not? Maybe the old geezer won the pools or something.
Hardly likely. The old geezer's been dead for 40 years.
Dead?
Look, I did make some inquiries when Flo first came in ages ago. I didn't just ignore the old girl.
All right, all right.
So if he's dead? He's dead! His name was Charlie Hawkins. Able seaman Charles Leslie Hawkins, Chatham Division, Royal Navy. He served on submarines during the war, lost in action towards the end of it, went down with His Majesty's submarine Toreador, mid-Atlantic. There were no survivors.
And you can't convince her?
Evidently not. She gets passed around the place from pillar to post. From the police to Social Security, from Social Security to welfare, from welfare to the church, from the church back to the police again, and finally somebody mentioned us.
Trying to get rid of her.
Huh, probably. She's my conscience case, though, now, isn't she?
You found him yet?
No, not yet.
You looking?
Yes.
Maidstone Road? Or thereabouts?
Don't build your hopes up, Flo. It isn't likely to be Charlie. Well, it isn't, is it? He can't come back. Not after 40 years.
I've seen him, miss, I tell you. I've seen him.
Dotty old Flo. Well, I suppose every town of any size has one. Adds colour to the place. Sort of dilapidated eccentrics. They sometimes get swept up, you know, along with the waste paper, the fishbones in the gutter, the dog muck, the drunken sailors and the whores. Usually when they're about to elect a new mayor. They've somehow dropped through the welfare sieve. Latter-day flotsam.
I'm sorry, Mr. Proby, but I don't find Flo's situation particularly funny. I think it's rather sad.
The stuff of tragic farce.
Did you know she was a war widow?
Or farcical tragedy. No, I didn't.
Her husband was in the Navy. He went down with his submarine, the Toreador, mid-Atlantic, 1945. Now, in my book, that puts her a cut above waste paper, fishbones, dog muck and whores. At the moment, she thinks she's going out of her mind because she keeps thinking she sees her husband driving a big white Jag. She needs help. I doubt very much if she'll find it here. Sorry I bothered you, Mr. Brown.
Hold on, Miss Forbes.
Mrs.
Mrs. Forbes. Wait, please.
I don't think you have anything for me, Mr. Proby.
Want a bet? Come back, please. I have something to show you.
I think we're both wasting time.
Come on, please. A few days ago, this was found on the mudflats at Sheerness. It had been washed up by the tide. Someone brought it to us for identification.
All right, I'll buy it. What is it?
Well, we didn't have a clue at first till we chipped away all those barnacles and washed the thing clean. Finally, it looked like this. Do you know what it is?
Some sort of marker boy?
Right, a marker boy. To be more precise, a World War II distress marker buoy, submarine for the use of. Now that number on it is the identifying pendant number of the vessel which it belonged to, P318. Well, we phoned up the Admiralty to find out what vessel had pendant number P318 during the war. They told us.
What has this got to do with Flo?
Well, because as soon as they told us, they obviously wished they hadn't. Within 2 hours of my phone call, we have a pompous little Admiralty twit down here on the doorstep. He's got a special court order thing which gives him the right to confiscate the marker buoy, so he says. It's naval property after 40 years. He goes on to deny that the buoy ever belonged to the vessel they just told us it belonged to, and then suggested that we shelve the story, if there was one. Shelve it, bury it, forget it.
So?
You don't say that to a journalist, Maggie. Is it all right if I call you Maggie? I'm Malcolm, incidentally. I mean, it's an invitation to Burrow. I got an old copy of Jane's Fighting Ships for 1945, which is the best reference there is, and checked. And sure enough, there it was, pendant number P318, His Majesty's submarine Toreador.
What?
Just like they said the first time, the Toreador.
But that's impossible. It's at the bottom of the Atlantic, has been for 40 years.
Aha. So I ran a teaser paragraph, Maggie, just a short middle-page piece. A couple of 100 words, no more. Has anyone seen the Toreador, Ole? Is there a sunken submarine lying under the Medway mud? That sort of thing.
Wait a minute, you're going too fast for me.
Yes, well, I was certainly going too fast for someone, because my boss called me in and told me to kill the story and forget about any follow-up. That paragraph was all the world was going to read about the Marker Boy or the Toreador.
It's incredible.
Oh, that's not the end, Maggie. Not the clincher, not by a long shot. Now, we've got a real sweet closeout on this one.
Closeout? What the hell's a closeout?
A real doozy. Listen to this, Maggie. The day after the paper comes out, with my piece in it, I'm driving along, minding my own business, when I'm slammed into a ditch. Slammed quite deliberately, Maggie, by a big, white Jaguar.
There must be some perfectly simple, logical explanation.
I hate it when the long arm of coincidence stretches in from nowhere.
And grabs me whilst I'm getting ready for a dirty weekend.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Anything?
Well, the harbour master says the tide was still on the ebb when the Marker Boy was found. That means it could have been carried to the mudflats from inside the mouth of the Medway. Maybe even as far down as Chatham.
Only maybe?
Well, if the boy had been there for some time, then it could have been brought in on a high tide from the sea.
I doubt very much if it came in from mid-Atlantic.
Bingo. We've got a line. Now let's see if we can go for a full house.
You're into an Admiralty computer. How the hell did you manage that?
With difficulty. Code 4, key in A16, line 4, Royal Navy. War losses at sea, 1939 to 45, detail 218 to 9000, stroke A32C. A16, return. Vessel's name and designation.
HM Submarine Toreador, T-class patrol type.
How do you spell Toreador?
Toreador. Sometimes I can hardly credit you have the equivalent of a master's in computer science.
We have a telephonic break-in. I'm starting a trace and search routine, sir.
HM Submarine Toreador, pendant number P318.
Presumed sunk mid-Atlantic, April the 20th, 1945.
Presumed? Why only presumed?
Whilst on routine war patrol duties. Do you radio silence?
Exact location of sinking remains unknown.
That's odd.
No, I don't think so. If the sub hadn't reported in for a while, then it...
No. Look there, item 3. All further information remains strictly classified. They've even given it an S224 coding.
What does that mean?
Nun's knickers.
Red?
Never to be revealed.
Not even after 40 years?
Not even after 400 years. Sensitive material.
Well, Flo's old man is down there. Able Seaman Hawkins, Charles Leslie, and 39 of his shipmates.
Down where?
Yes, I understand your concern, Commander. No, I did not authorize any telephonic break into your computer, and I really don't know why my girls would want access to your data. It might have been an accident, wrong number. It happens sometimes, doesn't it? And I'm convinced the Third World War will start with the wrong number being dialed on a red telephone. Yes, Commander. I'll check it out for you. Bye. Well, just exactly what you girls up to then. Hmm?
Okay, Maggie, okay. Let's take one thing at a time. The marker boy. How did it get on the mud flats at Sheerness?
Must have broken free.
From where and how?
Well, from where? I don't know. How? Maybe somebody was playing games. Maybe somebody released it. Maybe somebody wanted it found.
Oh, that's too complicated, too fanciful.
What then?
Something released it more like. Maybe they're dredging out there in the Medway. Buy a drink, Maggie.
I have to go to the hospital. See Flo. Do we know if the Toreador actually sailed from here?
Well, I've always assumed it did.
Strange.
What?
Well, it didn't say so on the printout. Come to think of it, it didn't say very much at all. This came up with a lot of fairly useless information. It looked comprehensive, it looked detailed, but it wasn't. And when you come to analyze it, it almost as if it had been, I don't know, been...
Edited.
Yeah, edited.
You're right, you know, Maggie. We could have got most of that computer stuff from any decent reference book on the Second World War.
Then why classify it? Why the secrecy?
And why is the Admiralty so goddamn sensitive about it?
Mine is the back of my neck itch. Oh, sometimes it's the lobes of my ears, sometimes the palms of my hand. Today it's the back of my neck. Copper's instinct. Never wise to ignore it. Yep, thought so.
What are you talking about?
We've got a tail, a nice white one. Jack, you're a saloon.
You sure?
Don't turn round.
Oh, if it's the madman, I mean, he was out to kill me. Oh, put your foot down, Maggie. Let's get rid of him.
Oh, not on your life, mate. Let's make it easy for him. God knows behind that wheel.
I know you were talking all that defensive driving stuff, but he's a nutter. I mean, the way he went for me.
His number. Need to get a good look at him. Could pull the car over.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, damn, I've lost him. He's chickened out.
Or else it just wasn't our man.
Oh, it was our man, all right. The back of my neck is seldom wrong.
Dapper-looking devil, wasn't he? Right old road go-to, man. Yeah, it was taken 1944. We'd been married 5 years. Spent all that time as a submariner, he did. Mostly on the Toreador. And once he got on that, I never got to see much of him. Always at sea.
A right old rogue, you said. What does that mean?
Rogue. Tearaway. Proper scoundrel sometimes. Trust him to go swanning about in a great big white jag. Mind you, it wouldn't surprise me if it'd been a roller. Likes a bit of luxury, does my Charlie.
Can I borrow this photo?
You let me have it back after.
After?
After you found him, of course. You've seen him, ain't you?
I don't know.
They was all rogues. The old bleeding crew. Well, they had to be. Only way to stop them going balmy. Always right in the thick of it, the Toreador. Every rotten job. God knows how many of the enemy they sent down to Davy Jones's locker.
Sweet as a bell at the moment.
Crack bloody bell.
Well, she'll get you back. The next time it'll be a new condenser.
Yeah, so you keep telling me. All right, let's all up that hook and get away from this sodden mud.
When you get underway, for God's sake, keep the revs down. Just tickle her in, Skip. Otherwise, we'll be spending the night out here.
Over your dead body.
Sat. Snagged on something. It's clear now.
Wouldn't have thought there was much to snag down there, just Medway slime. Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Prue, it's Maggie. You reading me? Over.
Really, Maggie, must you use that appalling jargon? How can I possibly be reading you, especially at this distance? Over.
I hope you thought this thing through. If that Chandra bloke really does have a marriage contract with the girl, he could sue us for assault. Over.
She's 15, for heaven's sake. Even if her mother has signed a contract, it can't possibly be valid in this country. Over.
I still say...
Sweet as a bell at the moment.
Crack bloody bell.
Well, she'll get you back. The next time it'll be a new condenser.
Yeah, so you keep telling me. All right, let's all up that hook and get away from this sodden mud.
When you get underway, for God's sake, keep the revs down. Just tickle her in, Skip. Otherwise, we'll be spending the night out here.
Over your dead body.
Sat. Snagged on something. It's clear now.
Wouldn't have thought there was much to snag down there, just Medway slime. Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Prue, it's Maggie. You reading me? Over.
Really, Maggie, must you use that appalling jargon? How can I possibly be reading you, especially at this distance? Over.
I hope you thought this thing through. If that Chandra bloke really does have a marriage contract with the girl, he could sue us for assault. Over.
She's 15, for heaven's sake. Even if her mother has signed a contract, it can't possibly be valid in this country. Over.
I still say we should leave it to the police. Over.
I told you they don't want to know. Over.
Prue, if the girl is underage and the contract is invalid, then the police are bound to act. Over.
Not until an offence has been committed. By the time they get their act together, the girl could be back in India. Over.
Okay. But I want to register the strongest possible objection.
Hello, miss. You're just the person I wanted.
Not now, Flo.
Go away, there's a good girl. I've seen him again. My old man. On the Maidstone Road.
Flo, we're right in the middle of something here.
He was driving a great big white Jaguar. Large as life he was. I mean, dead these 40 years. And suddenly he's driving a great big motor.
Joe, will you please go away, Scarborough?
Hop it now. You've got to find him for me, miss. You've got to find him.
On my way out, girls. Start up and stay close for Gordon.
Sake, I don't fancy ending up as a bowl of curry.
Here they come. Black Merc, High Street end.
Going like the crackers. Go!
Just hold her. I'm on my way.
What's the matter, Maggie?
Hospital. Old Flo's had a phone call from someone. Someone who said he was her husband, said he was coming to take her home. So she's discharging herself.
S224Q8, access code to a subroutine.
Difficult, eh?
Difficult, but not impossible.
Well, whatever you get, put it on a security file and make sure Margaret sees it when she comes in.
She was picked up in a white Jag. Yes, a white Jag. Oh, well, of course I followed it, but I lost it somewhere here on the Maidstone Road. Yes, just disappeared.
All right, Maggie, all right. We'll do search of the area if necessary. Yeah, I've got stringers around the place. We'll find it. Listen, get yourself back here, will you? I've got another lead. Old Flo's maiden name was Fraser, and I've located a cousin of hers. a Navy pensioner called Amos, would you believe? He's ex-naval police, ex-dockyard copper. Mine of information.
Where does he live? Fairhaven Rest Home. Onslow Road, Gillingham. Okay, see you there.
Of course, you should have seen the place in them days. Oh, big naval town, Chatham was. Yeah, one of the port divisions. Massive dockyard, river full of warships, town full of life.
Charlie Hawkins' town.
Oh, yes. Charlie was born and bred. He loved the place, yeah. But Navy through and through. But like all Matalows, he was a bit of a rover, even after he was married. Oh, he'd have a gadabout, you know. But he'd always come back to Chatham and Flo. Poor old Flo.
So it broke her heart when he went missing.
Oh, it did more than that. It sent her a bit loony. Off her trolley. Well, you've seen her about. But they were very fond of each other. Yeah, very fond. Charlie had a brother, you know. Tommy Hawkins. A petty officer telegraphist up at the Admiralty in London. Now, Charlie was no angel, of course, but Tommy was a bad lot, a real bad lot.
What happened to him?
Well, he deserted. What? Oh, he scarpered. The same day as the Toreador was sunk. I mean, odd that. I mean, Tommy had a cushy number up in London at the Radio Communications Centre. So why would he want to scarper so late in the war? It was all over by the shouting. Now, if Charlie had gone over the hill, you could understand.
Well, why is that?
Well, because the Toreador had it tough. An hard war. At sea all the time. Too much action. Never had a rest.
A band of bleeding heroes.
And all bomb happy.
There was talk of a mutiny. But only talk. But I remember there was an heavy security blanket out all over the wharf that night she sailed for the last time. Naval police all over the place. The old Toreador slipped away like a thief in the night.
Well, Prudence?
It's there, all right. About 4 fathoms.
You're sure it's the Toreador?
Positive. It's lots of silt and mud, but it is the Toreador.
How did it sink?
It looks as though it was deliberately scuttled. All the seacocks are wide open. And before you ask, no, we didn't go inside. That's a job for the Navy.
Okay, Graham, give me those again, will you? The ones near Bluebell Hill.
Christ. Incredible, isn't it? No wonder they wanted to top us.
I appreciate that very much.
No wonder the Admiralty wanted to bury it.
Listen, Maggie, we may have got this down to 4 possibles.
Forget it, Malcolm.
In that area, there are only 4. What?
I said forget it. We have to forget it.
Oh, what about poor old Flo?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't believe it. They've got you doing it too, haven't they, Maggie? Shelve it. Bury it. Forget it. You don't say that.
To a journalist, do you?
No, you damn well don't.
Prue, if I give him the story, they can't cover it up, can they? I mean, if the press have got it, the Admiralty can't bury it.
No, but they'll probably end up burying you.
Well, then they have to bury all of us. Nigel included.
Oh, he'll love that.
Hold on, you're going too fast.
No, you hold on, Buster. The going's going to get faster and bumpier.
Well, can I take notes?
No need. It's all in here.
Oh, boy.
The Toreador never made it to the Atlantic, never even cleared the estuary. It was scuttled, probably by its own crew, in the Medway in the early hours of April the 17th, 1945.
God's name, why?
Because instead of torpedoes, it was carrying $10 million worth of gold bullion.
Commander, Nigel Beaumont. I've given my girls a rap on the knuckles, and I think I can assure you that they won't be naughty again. But the thing is, they rather aroused my curiosity. It seems that they're interested in a submarine that was supposed to have gone down with all hands in 1945, the Toreador. Yes, of course. I realized that was before your time. But I wondered if you'd give me the names of everyone that was on duty in the communications room on the night of April 17. Oh, come now, Commander. All I'm asking is a little quid pro quo. I'm sure you'd like to keep it in the family, wouldn't you?
The Toreador was taking the first token installment of our Lend-Lease repayment to the United States.
$10 million in gold.
Enough to tempt a war-weary crew to mutiny.
They hijacked their own submarine.
Well, they probably overpowered and killed the officers, unloaded the gold, opened the Seacocks and sank the Toreador.
But he would have been missed immediately.
No, because the Toreador was under strict instructions to keep radio silence except for one coded transmission per day.
Which was received by Tommy Hawkins at the communications centre in
And
London.
he fainted. There never was a radio signal from the Toreador that day. So, whoever read your little piece in the local newspaper, it panicked them.
That's for sure.
And whoever it is, they've got Earl Flo.
If she's still alive.
Right. Give us those 4 locations, Malcolm. We'll take one each.
Lady Cranshaw? Yes. My name's Beaumont. I'm from the Home Office. I'd like to see your husband.
Why?
It's a private matter.
It won't take long, will it? He hasn't been very well recently.
I'll try and be as brief as possible.
Well, you'd better come in. Someone to see you, dear. Mr. Beaumont from the Home Office.
What? Sorry to disturb you, Admiral. I want to pick your brains.
Call in every 5 minutes. If we don't hear from someone during that time, we send in the cavalry, all right?
All right.
So, here we are. This is your place. Felon Priory.
Maggie, take care, eh?
You too.
I don't think it's this place.
Oh, maybe it's none of them. See you later.
The Toreador? Yes, I remember. A T-class sub that sank in the Atlantic.
You remember what she was carrying?
Carrying? Why should she have been carrying anything? She was on warp trail.
I think not.
Then suppose you tell me what you think she was carrying.
Gold.
Well, it's not beyond the bounds of possibility. Lend-lease and all that.
Yes.
So?
You were a lieutenant commander at the time, working in the London communications room.
Correct.
Did you know a telegraphist named Tommy Hawkins?
I'm sorry, Mr. Beaumont, it's so long ago. Why don't you come to the point?
The point is, Admiral, we now have proof that the Toreador never left the Medway. We believe the crew mutinied, stole the gold, and disappeared.
And who is we?
That needn't concern you. But if we are right, they must have had a contact in the communications room.
The telegraphist? Hawkins?
Probably. He went absent without leave on the night the Admiralty lost contact with the Toreador.
All right, suppose he was in on it. I really don't see why we're raking over such old coals.
The coals are still burning. At least one mutineer is still alive.
You've caught him?
Not yet. But it's only a matter of time.
What do you want from me?
We had hoped you would be able to confirm a theory.
Well?
The estuary was the entrance to a busy naval base during the war. There would have been picket boats patrolling the channel day and night. Someone had to ensure that they kept well away from the Toreador.
A telegraphist wouldn't have the authority to do that.
Exactly. It would have taken executive muscle, an officer.
But he would have gone absent without leave too, wouldn't he?
Not necessarily. He might have served out his time in order not to arouse suspicion, perhaps even rising to a high rank before he retired.
With a nice little nest egg to cushion him.
He certainly could have afforded to retire in style.
But as you say, Mr. Beaumont, it's just a theory.
At the moment. I hope shortly to have it confirmed.
By whom?
One of the surviving mutineers. Perhaps Hawkins himself.
I wish you luck. But I still don't understand why you came to see me.
I checked the list the Admiralty gave me. You are the only serving officer who was on duty the night the submarine disappeared.
Then it's a pity my memory is so fallible.
You have nothing to tell me?
I'm afraid not.
And I'm sorry to have troubled you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Damned Home Office. Always were a pain.
I'm sorry to disturb you. I'm doing a survey for the City Home and Country Garden magazine.
My name is...
Forgotten your name, love? Let me refresh your memory. It's Maggie Forbes. Better come in, Maggie.
Do as Tommy says, love. My brother ain't got no patience at all. Not when he thinks people are threatening him.
Is she still alive?
Oh, Flo, of course she is.
Crazy old cow'll probably outlive us all.
Are you Charlie Hawkins, ex-able seaman of the Toreador?
Dead right.
Oh, yes, dead. Make no mistake. And we mean to stay that way.
We saw them diving in the estuary. Suppose you know all about it by now.
Think so.
Pity. Oh, well. Better come and meet the other men.
Those that have turned up.
Why only 6?
Half of us are dead. Some went abroad. Rest decided to stay here with their families.
They're new families.
Hardly new. Some of us are grandparents by now. By our second wives.
Ah. So you're bigamists. As well as murderers.
Fixie Grange is clear. Belongs to a doctor and his missus. Toffee nose pair. Over.
And Parkham House is the home of Lady Stockburn, all lavender and lace. Over.
It has to be Maggie's place, the Cedars. And it's more than 5 minutes since we heard from her. Over.
You never married again?
No, not me. I've had several flings, of course, but Flo's the only one for me.
But you never contacted her?
I wanted to. But she'd have given the game away sooner or later.
So you let her grieve on her own?
What else could I do? I tried to speak to her several times, but I just couldn't. I had to think of the other lads.
Three. All right, move.
Tommy!
Here you are, Charlie.
Don't be daft, Tommy. What the hell do you think you're doing?
What's it look like?
The game's over. We've lost.
Then we'd lose like fighting men. No surrender.
So you're taking the easy way out, eh? Feet first, the coward's way.
Shut up, you. You're responsible for this mess.
If our time's up, then we're taking you with us.
You sure that thing works? Your grenade didn't. Band of bleeding heroes, Flo called you. Toughest crew in the service, patrol after patrol.
Shut up!
More action than any other sub in the fleet, a barrel load of medals.
I said shut up.
Until you got tired and greedy, and then you changed from a band of heroes into a gang of killers and thieves.
Give us that gun.
No. The rest of you may have gone soft, but not me. She's going to pay for what she's done, just like us.
What's the point? We've all had a good run. If we end up in the brig, it will still have been worth it.
Tommy, brave man will stay alive. Take what's coming to him.
You're just trying to save your skin. But it won't work. We were taught to kill our enemy.
I'm just going out for a little walk. See if I can pot a few rabbits. I do believe there's a touch of spring in the air.
Corridor, ship's company, bide the ride, twig, bide. Right. Come on, left. Right, left, right, left.
Lads. That's what Charlie Hawkins called them.
Like stable lads.
Huh?
They would be pretty long in the tooth and all.
I suppose if you grow old with someone, they always seem young to you.
It must have been hell in the war.
Huh?
In the subs. All them exploding thingamybobs around you.
Maybe that's what turned them into villains.
See the dolphins leap and blow. There's something nasty down below.
Who wrote that?
One of our great lyric poets. A chap called Beaumont. Nigel Beaumont.